Hi guys, welcome to MKUYCS Thika YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about mental health. So before we start, we are going to introduce ourselves. My name is Faith Mwangi.
Isaac Twala.
And Rita Mwende.
For now, I'm going to ask Andrita to introduce us to the questions we are supposed to tackle.
Okay, thank you so much, Faith Mwangi. And the first question we are going to tackle, and that is directed to Isaac Twala. What does mental health entail in the world we are living today?
Thank you so much, Anne, for asking that question. Yeah, indeed, mental health is an issue, and we need to create awareness. That is why we have Mental World Day, which is usually celebrated on 10th October every year, and it was first celebrated in 1992. Now, up to now, we keep on celebrating that day every 10th of October. Yeah, so I like to mention briefly what mental illness means. And mental illness is it's anything that causes a person's thought, emotions, or behavior result in the effect that he or she cannot think properly, he cannot control emotions, and so on. So that is why you find that such kind of people, if they used to love people around them, now they start seeing them in a negative way. They start seeing them like they are enemies, or they don't love them anymore, and so on. And they tend to focus on negatives about life.
Okay, thank you so much on that. The next question is, when we talk about mental illness, this is whereby it's not like a pain like any other. So we'd like you to tell us what are the signs and symptoms of mental illness.
Thank you so much, Anne. And these are some of the signs and symptoms of mental illness, or any person with mental illness. So such kind of people, you find that if to start with, one is you might find that they have anxiety. They might be having a lack of sleep or sleep disturbances, whereby you find this person, if he used 3 oversleeps, or he lacks sleep. And another symptom, maybe he eats too much, or maybe he lack appetite. There is a poor concentration, for example, in students. Remember, we are students. So this person will find that when he or she is in class, there is a poor concentration in class and in his all activities. Yeah, and also there is persistent sadness. So leo ameamka kama ako sad, after some time maybe amechange, and it's persistent. It's that sadness that does not end easily. Those are some of the, and also suicidal thoughts, which is a major one in and those are the signs which also represent depression. So collectively they represent mental illness. Whenever you have such symptoms, feel free to seek a counselor or medical attention. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and our dear viewers, as you have heard the signs and symptoms, they are something that gradually accumulate in one. And in our daily life, especially in the world we are living, in the young generation, you are encouraged at least once in a while to carry evaluation in yourself, so that at least you can see what has changed. You know something that when you talk about mental illness, these are some things that start one by one, and at the time when they pile, you get, as Dr. Twala has told us, that's how they start piling, and you find that one has started getting the illness. So at least our dear viewers, once in a while, carry out a self-evaluation to understand whether still your mental health is at least in a capacity that is good. Then after that, Isaac, I would like you to explain for us what are the causes of this mental illness.
Thank you so much, Anne. Medically, we tend to group causes in 2 ways. That is in a simpler fashion. We have physical and we have psychological factors. So to start with physical factors, these are the ones that, for example, to start with, trauma. That is, if you have maybe head injury, it might also cause mental illness later, because it tends to affect the brain, because brain, remember, is a neuron, right? And it's the one that controls how you think. We have other causes like number 2. I like to mention about drug abuse, which may lead to drug dependence, alcohol use, which may lead to alcohol dependence, and also we have chronic illnesses or terminal illnesses. Remember, chronic illness or terminal illness is not a simple thing. These are lifetime changes that has occurred to this person. So it's not easy for this person to adapt to new changes. That is why they tend to have mental illness or depression and so on, which might manifest later to advancing to other big issue, mental big issue. Yes. So, and psychologically, other psychological factors, I would like to mention some of them. And to start with, we have losses. We as human beings, when we incur losses, either you have lost your family member, you have lost your loved ones, financials. Number 2 is failure in exam for students, failure in life. Defilement for those who have undergone maybe that experience of defilement or rape. We have unemployment or severe poverty, high demand at work or at home. We have those who have been robbed, maybe they tend to undergo what we call post-traumatic effect. And also other causes might be one, remember those are social factors. Another social factor is domestic violence in families. We have marital or parental conflict. They tend to cause, they might also lead to mental illness. And then finally we have broken relationships. Remember, these tend to affect youth and also those in marriages. And remember, it's not easy when there is a problem. Remember, this is a person that you love most. When it comes to a time maybe you are separating or divorce, then it's not easy to adapt. That's why it might end up causing a mental illness if you won't seek medical attention. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much for briefing us on all those things. And our dear viewers, as we all know in the current world, let us say now, us as youth now, the most thing that is affecting the mental, that is a great factor that causes mental illness among youth. First, we talk about depression. The next thing is about relationships. And these are things that we experience in our daily lives. And at least among the youth, I think these are the main causes of mental illnesses. And I would like Faith Monkey, at least to ask a general question. Like, just as how this mental illness among the youth, how does it come about?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm going to ask Daktari, what do you think we should do to avoid having such problems? What do you think we should be given, or maybe the platforms we should use to help ourselves when we are facing these kind of illnesses?
Thank you so much, Faith. I like to advise youth that yes, and also there is so many ways to reduce these cases of depression or mental illness among the youth. It might be under maybe medical education, in churches, in classes, all channels, to sensitize the youth so that they are aware of mental illness, how it comes about, and what causes about it. So, for example, earlier on I mentioned about the causes, and I remember what mostly affect the youth nowadays, and around a bigger percentage, if I may say, you might find that is broken relationships. And in broken relationships, remember, you need to prepare yourself. You know, time has changed, things have really changed, and you need to know what, before you enter into a relationship, what is expected of you once you enter into that relationship. So do not enter into relationship like it's do or die. No. If you enter with that attitude, trust me, you will find that if disappointment comes along, then you will find that you will end up being depressed over the same. So, and two, remember, it depends on at what level are you, maybe before entering into that relationship, before entering into relationship, because it depends if with the age that you are. So it's normal now. It's normal to be in a relationship, but also expectations. Your expectation, not a must that it must work out. If it doesn't work out, just understand that it's normal. Even our parents, they didn't just enter into one relationship and they ended up in a marriage. No, it doesn't work that way. That is how things work out. And two, I like to give advice to ladies and gentlemen, the youth. That is how things work out. For example, for gents, remember we have created a different, both ladies and gents. Now, remember, what does the Bible say? A man should love his husband, right? His wife. What was the lady aliambiwa nini? She was commanded to submit, only to submit. There is a reason why God mentioned that in the Bible. And medically or psychologically, you find out that ladies were created differently. Ladies are controlled by emotions, but men are not controlled by emotions. That is why ladies are advised to, for men, they are advised, men are advised to enter into a relationship when they feel that they love that lady so much. Men don't enter into a relationship if you feel that you don't love that lady, because it's easy for a man to enter into a relationship and then after some time maybe ajitoe. That is why ladies are also advised to be in a relationship whereby a man loves her more than she does, because that is how love works out. For example, ladies, their love the curve of love in ladies tend to start flat, then it grows exponentially as compared to gents. So gents, it starts by flat, that is constant, then it tends to grow a little bit, then it might be constant, or then it drops. As compared to ladies, it's constant, it rises exponentially, depending on how this gentleman treats her, how he treats her, how he conducts himself. That might enable this lady to love this gentleman, even though initially she didn't like this man. As compared to a man, if he doesn't like you from the word go, trust me, if you do what, no matter what, that guy will never love you. As compared to a gent, as compared to ladies from the beginning, she may not like this gentleman, but as time goes by, you find that she will end up falling in love with this man madly. So they need to be, youths need to take cautious in that. And this is also, remember, a lady being in a relationship whereby you find that this guy loves you more than you do, you'll find that this guy will treat you with respect and dignity. So he won't take advantage of you that, I know that she loves me, so even if I cheat, there's nothing that she can do. He will respect you, he will treat you with the respect and dignity that you deserve, and that also might also push the relationship far.
Oh, Daktari, that is something new. But now we have talked about those people who are yet to get into relationships. What about those people who are in the relationships? They are facing these problems. What would be your advice to such people? Because they are already in it. You cannot just tell them to think they are not in it or something. What do you think you can tell these youths when you meet them?
What I can advise them is that remember, they can try to work out and to see whether things might work out in their relationship. If it doesn't work out, then remember, it is not, the relationships are not marriages. Marriages are now a permanent thing, but relationships, it's you are trying to see whether you can go along with this person very well. So if you can see that it's not working very well, then and you have tried what you can to make that relationship to work out, and it has not worked out as expected, and you have seen what we call danger signs that signify you that in this relationship that you are, it's not a good one, then trust me, it's good. It's high time that you can move out from that relationship and give yourself room to heal, and then later on maybe you might find yourself in another relationship.
Suppose that we have a person, a young person here, a person who has been in a relationship, he or she has seen the red flags, he's out or she's out of the relationship. Or maybe the same person does not want to get out, but she has been heartbroken already and she's depressed. What will you tell this person? What is the person supposed to do?
I know it's not easy to separate. It's not, remember, once you are in a relationship, you might find, okay, it's normal that you might find that you are the person who loves the other person very much as compared to the other person. So it may not be easy for you to adapt. Remember, this is a new change. It will be difficult yet, but as time goes by, you will heal. So it is sad by you yourself. You have seen these danger signs. Remember, if you continue in that relationship with these danger signs, who knows, maybe later you will be killed. So it's better you avoid this. You better prevent yourself before. Wanasema kwamba eli kuziba ufa kuliko kujenga, sindio? Once you see these danger signs, trust me, if you have seen these danger signs in a relationship, what makes you think that they won't progress or they won't worsen when you've been married? It will continue. So there is no need for you, once you have seen that the danger signs, you have spoken to this person and it's not changing, or she is not changing, and it's something that is reoccurring, trust me, that person will never change. That is all our personality. So that means that, and you yourself, you cannot cope. So there is no need for you to be in a poisonous relationship, other than quitting from the relationship and giving yourself time to heal, and from there maybe you might find yourself in another relationship. Remember, for you to be in that relationship, there is how God had planned. God knows, God has good plans in our lives. So God already knew that at a certain time you will be in that relationship, and at such a time you will be out of that relationship, depending on what you will have seen by then. So if it was not meant to work, it won't work. So my advice is, once you see danger signs and they are not changing, trust me, you better move out and give yourself room to heal, and then maybe later start a new life. Thank you.
Daktari, do you have anything else you'd like to add on?
I like to mention that, remember, once you have mental illness, it's a treatable condition. Be it what? Remember, we have three approaches that we treat mental illness. Number one is what we call psychotherapy. So you undergo counseling, whereby you will be met by the psychologist or medical psychologist counselors, and that tend to help in treating mental illness by 60%, around 60%. Then if it doesn't work out, then we put you on what we call medical management. Now that is the time now you are given medication to treat medical illness. That is if it doesn't work out very well with psychotherapy. And if it persists, then we have other methods that we call electroconvulsive therapy. That is the end result. So mental illness is treatable. Seek help. Start by seeking help from your, actually speak out. Have that one friend that you can speak to when you feel like you are low. Someone to encourage you, someone who will not judge you. Go for counseling and so on. It's treatable and it's manageable. You just control those. Thank you.
My dear Andrita,
Yes.
do you have something you can tell us?
Yeah, okay, for sure, our dear viewers. As we have had a discussion, I ask you that just let's have what I insist on is that we have a mental, I would say a mental evaluation. Just try to see how is your mental status, because this is something very important. And also let us learn to speak out. It is okay not to be well. And you see, depression is something that is killing the youth in our day-to-day lives. So what I would encourage you, let us speak out, especially in the university there are counselors. Let's take time to go and speak out to the counselors. There are professional counselors where you can get help, or even the students. Maybe if you feel you cannot reach out to the counselor, at least talk to peer counselors or even a friend. At least by speaking out, you see a problem. When you speak out a problem, it is hard solved, and I think by that you'll be able to attain at least the suicidal cases will be less among the youth. Because my dear friends, like having the suicidal thoughts, or just you feel like you just have to take away your life, that is not the solution. There can always be a solution by speaking out. As you have been told, there are a lot of things you can do so that at least you can make your mental health status at its normal. So let us learn to speak out, and we love you so much. So let us try to undertake mental evaluation so that each and every moment you can have at least the highest standards of our mental health. Yeah, that's all I can have as my parting shot today.
Wow, thank you very much, Andrita. So to our viewers, all has been said, all has been taught. If you have something to add on, you can comment on our YouTube channel. Let's remember, talking is the best way to solve our issues. We are all victims of mental illness, and we all face these problems. So do not seclude yourself. Talk out. Face someone you can easily share your thoughts, your actions with, or maybe the problems you're going through. Otherwise, all said and done, we love you all, and we hope that if you have something to add on, you're going to speak to us. Bye bye.
Bye.